Listen, and you will hear stories of beauty, strength, and inspiration. Let's talk Women Talk. A craftsman is one who is skillful, who creates with his hand, heart, and soul. And a craftswoman is Carolyn Kan. Carolyn left advertising after 10 fulfilling years in the industry. During her sabbatical in Florence, she stumbled upon the art of craftsmanship. A year later, she opened up Carrie K and has never looked back. What is it like to influence with creations?
Carrie, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I know you've you've been doing this for 5 years now, right? How did it turn into this is what I'm actually going to do with my life?
Well, I think Carrie K and my journey to become a silversmith and jewelry designer was a happy accident. In 2008, I took a year off advertising, and I promised myself that I would spend the year doing everything that I wanted to do one day, including going to Italy, and that was where I met Elisabetta, a silversmith, who taught me how to make my first ring. And it's been ultimately crazy fulfilling, but also it's been one of those journeys of self-discovery. And there are a couple of things that I've learned through this, and it's having a very clear sense of what you want to do and being really passionate about it.
What really pushed you to want to do this? There must be something about Carolyn yourself, your philosophy in life and what you see as important that to push you into something like completely different and so.
Well, I think that the whole thing that's helped a lot is I don't believe that there is such a thing as failure, because I love learning, and everything that I don't do successfully once, I learn from it and then I apply it to the next time. So although at times when I was doing something completely new, which is going down this journey, it was slightly frightening not knowing what it's going to lead to, but I always thought that it's this wonderful adventure because I end up creating things or ending up in a place that I don't expect. And I think that when you're open to opportunities, life has a way of presenting things that work out.
I love the fact that your philosophy of kind of not taking life too seriously, having a little bit of humor. Tell me a little bit about how Carolyn's personality goes into Carrie K.
Well, I think I'm a bit of a storyteller. So every single piece that we create tells a story. For example, Reborn is a collection where we are inspired by humble every-day objects.
Like the little paper clips.
Yes, like the little paper clips and safety pins and even like the razor that, help keep the world spinning, but we just take it for granted. So we take objects as our little analogy for that story, but we do have those unsung heroes and characters and people around us every day, and it's celebrating that.
And now this idea of craftsmanship as well, why do you think it's so important for everybody to kind of appreciate the process that goes behind it?
Well, seeing how things are made, you will be able to appreciate and value the time and care taken. And when you produce something yourself and you give it to somebody else, it's so much more meaningful. So I think it is this whole thing of searching for and creating meaning in the things around us. When you understand what it takes to create something and the thinking behind it and the time taken, then people will appreciate it more. And hopefully these are things that then become meaningful and people want to keep it.
Which you're obviously good at identifying. What is fascinating to me is you've not only started your own jewelry design, you've gone into different areas of the business. You've thought now also beyond yourself, which I think is wonderful, which is a venture that you've had for a while now called Keepers. Yeah. This is fantastic because now you're bringing together designers from all over Singapore into this little collective. Tell us about Keepers, how did it come about, and take us on this journey with Keepers.
Well, I think the catalyst for Keepers is the problem that every business owner faces, because rental is really expensive and designers tend to work in very niche locations all over the island. So I figured, okay, we have a wonderful little atelier space. So in 2011, I made a commitment that we would, every 3 months, showcase fellow designers, not just in the area of fashion, but all the different areas from food to furniture, and that's how we started showing 4 to 5 different designers, and we do it as a collective.
Why is that so important to you? Actually reaching out to other designers and saying, come and let's do this together.
Because I think doing it as a collective helps build the community. From the designer's point of view, being able to have a network of people that will support each other, but at the same time for customers and the larger community that are looking for things that are unique and well made, then this becomes an easy destination for them. This pop-up at Orchard Road.
Orchard Green,
It's called Keepers Singapore Designer Collective. This particular one is very unique because it's a 5-month pop-up right smack in the heart of Orchard Road, and it's been a collaboration between Carrie K as well as TAF, the Textile and Fashion Federation, and would not have been possible without the support of Singapore Tourism Board as well as Spring Singapore.
How has Keepers changed your life?
Well, I think as a designer, it's reinforced this view that when people come together, it's inevitable. We end up collaborating because in the short 2 months that we have been open, I've seen some amazing designers that do great work on their own that have come together to collaborate with fellow artists.
What is your hope for this renaissance in Singapore?
My big fat, hairy, audacious goal would be to have a enclave or a location where designers could work and showcase and retail.
So not a pop-up keepers, but a keepers.
A long-term, sustainable...
keeping keepers.
Yeah, exactly. So then it'd be really easy for designers who are already in the industry to work and meet other designers, but also people who are new to it, who are just trying to figure out, is this something they want to get into? They would be able to easily access fellow designers to learn from, talk to, work with.
Now you also, you talked a little bit just about having new designers to come to be able to collaborate and talk to designers. You are doing something now about it, actually. It's called the Keepers Hatchery.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Keepers Hatchery started because I met a designer whose work I really rate, and I saw a lot of potential, but he hadn't yet launched his label. So he was just at the beginning of getting his business funded through crowdfunding. And we said, okay, well, we'll support you, and we'll launch this little initiative called Keepers Hatchery to be able to help market the label. And this label is called Gnome and Bow.
What do you hope to impart to young jewelry designers?
Well, I think it's very important to do something that you're very passionate about, because if you're passionate about something, you'll never feel like you're working. My approach to design is the most important thing has to be about the idea or the concept or the story you want to tell. Because if you have a strong idea, you can execute it in so many different forms and media. Then after that, it's about the craft. But I think the important thing is that if anybody's going to start something new, always be unafraid to ask. Ask questions and approach the people that you respect to get advice from them.
What about you? What is your dream for your brand, Carrie K?
Well, I don't think I ever set out to do something or be something. I just enjoy what I do at the moment, and I learn as I go, and everything's evolved. And I talked about happy accidents, but it's been like that. But I suppose if I was going to have to name one thing, it would be to continue to be able to poke fun and make people realize that you don't have to be so serious. Life is a bit too serious.
We have a question for you, for one of our viewers. Her name is Sulin Lim, and she wants to ask you, how has your business changed you as a person?
I think that Carrie K has helped me discover or rediscover myself, because when I was working for a company, I had to learn to be somebody else that wasn't. Whereas with Carrie K, because I suppose I get to call the shots, I realized that I'm a bit of a dreamer and I'm a bit of an idealist. I also have delusions of grandeur where I think that anything is possible.
And I have to ask you, what is empowerment to you, Carrie?
I think empowerment is the self-belief that anything is possible and never feeling that there is a constraint. Because in this day and age that we live in, and especially I think being in Singapore, anything is possible.
Wise words from a wise person. Thank you, Carrie. I wish you all the best in your journey, with Carrie K, with Keepers, and just being an inspiration to so many people out there who, want to do something different with their lives.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Take the plunge.
Yeah, take the plunge. Thank you, Carrie.
Like craftsmanship, the journey to success may come with a few hard knocks, but with the right tools, we can break through. And for Carolyn, her tools of hard work, determination, and optimism is her way of telling a great story.